to Treknicity, a Star Trek podcast, where we're Star Trekking across the universe. We're boldly going forward because we can't find reverse. I'm Lars.
And I'm Patrick, and that's for some reason resembles my car. Literally, the reverse will go out. Last time we went out, I was trying to get to work on Sunday after my computer took a shit, and I realized I had to go back, and I tried to turn around. I couldn't back up. Luckily, I got a tight turn radius.
Hey.
And this was on a backcountry road.
So this is a good indicator that you really need to get your car fixed.
Well, I'm waiting for the part. When they get the part in, I'll have the car fixed.
Fair enough.
But we got to have the part.
The part.
The part.
In this 6th episode of the 7th and final season of Treknicity, we present to you a recap of the 5th episode of Season 2 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, entitled Charades.
Charades. What kind of stupid name is that anyway? They're going to try to fit that in somehow?
Nah, they'll never do that.
I hope not. But yeah, speaking of what they fit in, it is time to get into this. So let's. This episode was insane, but we're going to get into the spoilers right about now because that's where we're going. So.
Woo!
So we get our previously on Star Trek Strange New Worlds. It's about Spock and T'Pring and Chapel. So you can guess where this is going. So we start with Chapel's log. She's talking about how they're going to be investigating the moon of Kirkov, which is in the outer edges of the Vulcan system. And they're going to have some downtime because the captain decides to go sublight speed, just crawling his way towards Vulcan.
You know, it's funny when I was watching that, when I saw the ship kind of just cruise along, and in my head I could hear the Beach Boys song, Kokomo.
Okay.
Because it's just like they're just.
So Nurse Chapel's preparing to do an interview for that 2-month expedition on Vulcan, which he mentioned a couple times before. But now it's time for the interview.
Yeah, and
she's got plenty of time to prepare.
Yeah, and the thing is, there was some discussion in earlier weeks that this might be the expedition where she goes off and meets her future former husband, Roger Corby. Which we see in a later episode, or one of the first episodes of the original series.
If that's it. Then again, they may just throw that out because, yeah, Cannon's getting kicked in the nuts a little bit on this one, but for the best. We find out...
Not so much. I mean, like there's definitely a little bit of back and forth and a little bit of say manhandling with Cannon, but not to the
among other things.
Yeah. Exactly. I was gonna make a joke about another part of like the whole Spock with his therapies and thing, but I figured
which part are we talking about?
There's a reason why he has to have nasal inhibitors around Christine Chapel.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we find out Spock's been getting therapy to try to keep his Vulcan under control, and of course he's doing so by cooking.
And as we realized, it has already shit on us. So anybody who's watching this right now is probably looking at a wonderful dirt face of Patrick, and I'm sure he will be back with us here momentarily while he gets his audio-only feed going. Right now, you can see 2 of me because I have 2 cameras going. So while he gets audio going again, I'll go ahead and pick up where he left off. And so Spock has been using different therapies provided to him, suggested to him by Dr. Mbenga, including nasal inhibitors, because as it has been previously established by way of the pilot of Star Trek Enterprise, Vulcans have a heightened sense of smell, and particularly females do as well. They just kind of get all uppity about it. In fact, they say, "Oh, we just get used to it, whatever." So. What happens is from there, Pike sends Spock and Chapel out on a shuttle to check out a moon that was in the edge of the Vulcan system that called Kirkov, that they believe that there was an ancient civilization there. And that being said, they went to go check it out. They went to see what would happen to them. They found some sort of spatial anomaly on this planetoid or this moon, and they wanted to find out what happened to these guys. So as they're cruising along, Spock and Chapel have a very awkward conversation about how she feels that he's ignoring her or avoiding her, um, and he of course does his best to salvage the situation. Cut forward to them getting close to the spatial anomaly. There being some sort of failure. They're getting sucked into it. They sort of flash out, and next you know, we wake up and boof, they are back mysteriously on the Enterprise, and everybody's kind of crowded around Spock in sickbay. So, let me just go ahead and I'll check with Patrick here since we're going to go ahead and give this a go. So we cut to the credits. Right before the credits, though, it does show Spock is now a human, full human.
Human.
And there we go. Now we got Patrick.
Okay, I got audio back. Good. We're going with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to not be on video from now. So let's, we catch Spock devulcanized. Holy shit.
Yes. So,
at least nothing else bad's going to happen to him this episode.
No.
Spoiler alert.
All right. So let me go ahead and turn off that camera because that doesn't help. There we go. Okay, because otherwise I'd be looking at two of me this entire episode.
Okay, so you got you and a blank thing of me or something.
Pretty much, yeah. A blank.
Okay.
Blank thing of your avatar.
Ah, yeah, the bleeding hand thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool. It's one of my most creative paintings, but we'll get back to that. So let's see here. Coming back from the credits, we got La'an and Una are scanning the shuttle, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. They find some kind of communicator, take it up, and of course, Uhura pretty much figures it out. Hey, let's go call them. And they get to a hold of the Kirkovians, one named Yellow.
Yes.
And apparently this is customer service.
Pretty much, yeah. So they talk about the fact that the Kirkovians fixed the damage from the accident, and since they didn't need to do anything else, don't bother calling them back.
Except, yeah. Oh, well, they didn't get in time. It's a problem.
Which I'm kind of wondering if this is some sort of very in-your-face commentary on American customer service.
Who knows? But, yeah. Either way, the real problem is that Spock's trying to figure out how to control these emotions, and he's not doing a very good job because apparently he's going through basically puberty emotions when the one and only Amanda Grayson herself shows up and says, "Hey, Spock, guess what? We got to do the whole thing. Also, what's wrong? Take the cap off. Oh, shit, you're human."
Yeah, like why? Like a mother always knows. It doesn't matter. A mother always knows. It reminds me, like I had a flashback there of from when I was like 12 years old and I'd gotten my ear pierced and didn't tell my mother and I was hiding it from her and she knew. I mean, it's like, yeah, she knew.
Better than when you get your dick pierced. Oh wait, what? Did I say that aloud?
That's a Prince Albert, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. So we get into a nice, good montage of, but we cut between this and Chapel scrambling, trying to figure out all kinds of things, how to figure this out. And yeah, we'll get back to her later because it's mostly her just talking, her just techno babbling, trying to figure out how to fix this. So we cut to a nice montage. Amanda teaching Spock how to be a lying ass human. Yeah. Among Vulcans.
Yeah, that's awesome. Man, this is great. It's finally she gets to show him the other side of the coin.
Yep. Una, La'an, Uhura, and Ortegas try to teach Spock how to talk like a Vulcan, which is very monotone and not very exciting, and you don't move your face. It's a fun scene.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Those are four of them trying to show him.
I think it's just them mocking what people playing Vulcans have to do.
Oh yeah, I mean, like they had to have a great time making this entire thing with the with the ladies screwing with Ethan Peck.
Yeah, it's absolutely, yeah. this is half scene, half meta commentary on
Oh yeah,
Vulcan
absolutely.
characterization.
Completely. I mean, it's times like this you really wish that Leonard Nimoy was still alive so he could see these wonderful send-ups of the Vulcan culture.
So, yeah. So T'Pring finally shows up, and Spock plans to take her and talk to her. They managed to get the whole dinner thing moved to Enterprise. So T'Pring beams up first, and Amanda's going to delay Mama Bitch. We'll curse at her in a minute here. But Spock takes her and was getting ready to tell her, "Oh, by the way, I'm human. We gotta work through this." Eddie doesn't tell her. This is important because that comes back later. Unfortunately, that means next T'Pring's mom, aka T'Prell, aka the bitch trying to unseat Pasolk as the biggest asshole Vulcan in Star Trek. I mean, seriously.
Now
her dad's kind of a dimwit. Yeah, I think he's.
I was gonna say you had a note here. He's a dimwit. I don't think he's a dimwit. I think he's like, very intelligent. I just think he's whipped. I mean, I've never seen a whipped Vulcan before until now. I mean, like they are showing both sides of the Vulcan coin today.
Yeah, it's kind of entertaining. I mean, it's like, okay, I think this is great. Wow, this is cool. I mean, yeah, he's just dead. Yes. And we even get to hear a little of the Amok Time music start playing when she walks in. It's like, oh boy, this is just got fun.
Oh yeah, this is gonna get great.
So they go through the 3-part ceremony, the one where Spock has to burn his hands serving tea and pretend not to. Luckily, Amanda knows how to do that.
That was really good. I mean, it does show that she has worked really hard to acclimatize to Vulcan culture.
Oh yeah. Then there's what's the next thing they do? What's the name of the ceremony?
I knew you were going to ask me that, and
I know it's before the feats of strength during Festivus.
Yeah, I told
it's the airing of grievances is what it is.
Yes, it is.
I'm glad airing of grievances.
That was perfect. It gave off absolutely wonderful Festivus vibes. I'm like, well, we've had the feats of strength. Now we're having the airing of grievances.
It was the airing of grievances, basically.
Yeah, it was.
Either Amanda going light on T'Pring and T'Prell being an absolute twat.
Yeah. I mean, she's got she's the "you're the worst Vulcan ever" speech going on, and he's just like, he manages to he's sitting there and he's like, he wants to cut a bitch, but he excuses himself and says, "I got to go to the bathroom." First time on screen at all, with the exception of Zephram Cochrane in First Contact, somebody saying they had to go to the bathroom, and he goes to the bathroom on a starship. It's the first time we've seen a bathroom on a starship. That is noteworthy. I mean, it's only taken 57 years?
But he goes to the air punch and scream into a pillow.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's what he does. It's insane. Meanwhile, through all of this, Pike is kind of running interference because he's serving food and talking stuff. And most importantly, he suggests a human custom. A very important and sacred human custom called charades.
Yeah, that has total sitcom vibes with it. Where they're just throwing something completely out of left field in there to try to disrupt the series of disastrous events going on.
And justify the title.
Yeah, and of course, I love the whole thing where he's like, "Oh, you have to come up with these sacred words." He's like, "Well, the first word sounds like so many syllables," and of course,
this is where Daddy is a dimwit. Seriously,
yeah.
I mean,
T'Pring's
really?
Dad is like, "Ear." That's the sacred word, and like, no, you dumbass.
So. Meanwhile, through all of this, Chapel grabs Uhura and Ortegas, and they go flying back to the anomaly. And of course, ultimately, Ortegas is the one that doesn't want to fly into the dangerous situation, which is hilarious. But she does anyway. They go in and find the Krakowians, and Chapel tries to convince them that they need to fix Spock the right way, that she kind of knows how, she kind of knows what needs to be done, doesn't know how, and ultimately they just, friends can't really complain outside the outside the outside the grievance period.
Yeah.
But ultimately, she kind of has to. There's supposed to be more. You guys turn around. I don't want to. I'm feeling icky about my feelings, even though I pretty much will do anybody earlier in the first season. I like Spock a lot. Yeah, it's kind of awkward and hilarious, and ultimately, as they're getting to the third part, the mind meld, Chapel comes in, says, "Hey, I got something for you." They go into the bathroom. The sexual tension is cranked up to 11, and Chapel quickly jabs the cure into Spock and turns in and starts him back into Vulcan. Somehow they manage not to bone. She leaves to go be sad. Meanwhile, T'Prell, Mama V bitch, we'll just call her. She finally says she approves of Spock despite all of his handicaps, despite having that terrible human, because obviously no human could ever pass this test. Spock's like, okay, fuck you, here, losing the ears.
Yeah.
Be human. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's exactly. And it's so funny because you know that they just repurposed his actual ear appliances to put on his ears to make him appear Vulcan, so they didn't know any better. But of course, when she starts ragging on the fact that humans couldn't do this, and he's like, "Ha, bitch, surprise!" You know, I immediately had vibes from Team America: World Police, where the dude goes, and forgive me, I'm not saying this to be offensive, but the line is so absurd when dude goes, "Surprise, cockfags," and he's like, he just pulls his fucking ears off like.
It was a beautiful thing.
Yeah, to see a Vulcan like fucking gobsmacked, hit in the face with a fish, perfect.
It was
absolutely
beautiful.
Yeah.
But it does lead to two with other things. Number one, Spock and Amanda talk, and Spock finally understands how hard shit has been for Amanda to be on Vulcan, and have Vulcans looking at her like, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, like exactly. Just the fact that, it does like this is not the first time we've seen this stuff with Vulcan culture, and it makes you wonder, why the fuck did Earth stay with these guys? Why did they form the Federation with them? Because they're
a bunch of dicks.
Yeah, like by the time they helped them improve on the warp drive technology, and and Jonathan Archer's father, Henry Archer, created the Warp 5 engine. At that point, they just should have told the Vulcans to fucking kick rocks, because
I think that's probably why we got the alternate. I think that might be why the alternate future, where we didn't get tied up with the Vulcans right away from 2 episodes ago, Tomorrow. I think that might be why they didn't get with the Vulcans then, because Vulcans suck.
Yeah, they were just great assholes, and they never failed to disappoint. Or they never. My apologies. They never disappoint when you're looking for the asshole in the room. And don't get me wrong. There's something to be said about pure logic and being more controlled and more concise, and control your emotions and thinking about things critically, but being an outright asshole at every turn. Have you ever truly met a nice Vulcan? I honestly can't think I've ever seen one who you could say, wow, this is a guy I'd like to know. Spock is the only exception, and he's not fully Vulcan. So you
there
tell
you
me.
Go.
So onwards and upwards.
So that brings us to the second scene where Spock and T'Pring are talking, and somehow Spock can't convince her. It's like, look, that was human panic setting in. I was wholly intending to tell you, but no, he doesn't convey it right. And she says, we need a little bit of a separation.
Dun dun dun.
So she leaves, and then Spock decides to go see Chapel, and Chapel decides to go see Spock, and they end up kissing.
Like, ba-bam.
It's like, we got to do this.
Yep.
And that's how it ends. They're getting it on and gone.
Yeah, just absolutely.
And
I remember when I was getting ready to watch the episode, you had just watched it before me, and you're like, oh my god,
no,
oh my god.
Yeah, I said the time code 5835. Holy shit! Holy shit!
Yeah.
I am not spoiling it at all, other than holy fucking shit. I can literally say nothing without spoiling this.
Oh yeah, and I mean
that's actual text messages I wrote.
I don't think it's as big as you think it is, but it is pretty damn significant given the fact that they've been building up to this since the first season.
Although I thought they weren't going to go all the way here, because original canon, that's not the Spock and Chapel relationship. But we'll talk on that. So let's get down to our talking points.
Right.
First thing we note, this is pretty much, we really developed two of the legacy characters big time in this episode.
Yep. We get to see more of Chapel and her development, because of course we know that Gene Roddenberry only threw his wife in there into that role because he wanted to keep her in the series and he needed something to do with her. But really, what could the character do? Nothing.
Yeah, not like he could have made her a first officer. Oh wait, he did, and they said no.
Yeah, they put the kibosh on that pretty fast.
Yeah, it was like, you got to cut them both. Well, I'll keep one of them. Keep the Vulcan. Okay.
And then
that's not exactly how it did, but they kept the Vulcan and ditched the woman.
Well, yeah, he married the woman and kept the Vulcan. So yeah, I mean, we see her. We also see T'Pring getting a little bit more development here, and then
everybody else having fun side roles.
Oh yeah, like I mean, they weren't put to waste. I mean, even Pike himself was great comedic relief.
Yep.
Like,
I still want a damned Ortegas episode. We have not had an Ortegas episode. We've had plenty of Chapel and Spock.
Well,
they've had tons of development, but Erica Ortegas is sitting over here. Hey, I'm going to go on an away mission, and I'm finally going to get my own episode. Nope.
Well, I mean, hey, we've still got 5 episodes to go this season, so maybe we'll get one.
Let's go 4 episodes. You know those old scientists is going to be about Boimler and Mariner geeking out on Spock.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's not a damn holodeck simulation like they did with the end of Enterprise. The end of Enterprise was as disappointing as the ending of Voyager, and it was cheese.
Worse than the ending of Voyager. Voyager rushed its ending and it's like, oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, the last episode of Enterprise is, hey, let's kill off a character. Let's show. And
I think we lost him again.
Cut.
Yeah. We've lost him again. That's awesome. Okay. So yeah. We'll go on to the we'll go on to the second talking point here while Patrick gets himself resituated. I wanted to make a note here that Ethan Peck is now officially my second favorite Spock actor. There is absolutely no replacing Leonard Nimoy. However, this guy just does a bang up job of portraying this character. Love him to absolute pieces. So, there has been a number of actors who have played, Zachary Quinto, of course, has played Spock. And then we've had like different versions of him in various other instances in his life, as both young or during his regeneration in Star Trek 3. But again, Ethan Peck.
Back.
Yeah, I got you back now. And now I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the third talking point on our list here, and that is the character of Amanda Grayson appears to be being having the Aunt May effect applied to it. Let me explain that a little bit. So we've seen Amanda Grayson portrayed in both the original series, and we saw her again in Star Trek 4, and then we've seen her appear, along the way, and of course now we have her appearing. She appeared in Discovery when the character of Spock came in the second season, and my whole thing is that it seems like the longer a character exists in a universe, they basically make her younger and more attractive as they go along. If you think about Aunt May in the Spider-Man comics, and also the 1990s Spider-Man cartoon, she was an elderly lady, and of course the 2002, 2001, I think, 2002. Sorry. Anyways, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. Aunt May again was an elderly lady, and then as we went through as we finished the Tobey Maguire and then the Andrew Garfield and the Tom Holland versions of Spider-Man, effectively the character got younger and more attractive as we went along. And I call that the Aunt May effect because, again, they've taken this character who's been in this franchise for a very long time, and then as each time she shows up, effectively you had an older lady playing the role from the original series and in the movies. Then when you had the Abrams verse movies, Amanda Grayson was played by Winona Ryder, so again, significantly younger, and to stay more attractive if you like. And then now this iteration of her, again, younger, more attractive, and it's like, wow, okay, I see this going on. But yeah, moving on to the fourth talking point, and this is something that really needs to be a two-sided conversation, and this can be that because a lot of this stuff hasn't been established officially.
Yeah, you're not getting anything, are you?
Yeah, I just got your audio back now, I think.
Okay, yay, good. I don't know what's going on. So let's talk about canon before I die out.
Yeah. Again, I was saying that, yes, it is going to have effect on canon, but I don't think in such a way that it ruins it. It can make a minor adjustment, minor reposition of a couple of things, but nothing that has been, like, you're not overriding something that's been set in stone. We know that there has been a rocky history between Spock and Chapel. We saw that in the original series. She pined over him. She literally pined over him when he was going through Ponfar. Okay?
Right.
We know that. So...
But, yeah. But again, the problem with that is literally says she handed her entire role in the original series was hand shit to McCoy and pine for Spock. Yeah. And Spock didn't really give a shit one way or another.
So, Strange
This
Worlds...
is a complete twist on that, but this could be partially because they did indicate that in making the show that, yeah, they're going to generally try to respect canon, but they're not going to feel bound to it. So they might just be saying, you know what, Chapel didn't get shit for development, so we're going to change this here.
Yeah, we're going to fill in all those gaps. Don't get me wrong. There's been plenty of instances where they've had to kind of retcon things a little bit, including the whole thing of, if anybody is familiar with the third season of Enterprise, there was an episode called Damage, and most people don't realize that the Illyrians were in that episode, and they were non-genetically altered Illyrians. So they had, and also that was, they explained that Illyrians do genetic modification, they do selective breeding, and all that stuff, which explains why Una Chin Riley looks human. So again, I don't think it's going to have a significant impact on established canon.
Yeah. But it is going to be a change, and it's going to be one that sticks because, yeah, they've decided to go this way. And again, not a bad thing, because when you've got a character whose development is almost non-existent, yeah, changing the canon. I think they've already thrown out Pike as the misogynist. They threw that out when When they said, okay, we're going to bring Pike in, and we're not going to make him wonder why be uncomfortable with women on the bridge. Look, he's got all women on the bridge.
Yeah,
But,
they totally
well,
flipped that script on him.
yeah, let's put woman, 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 Spock.
That should be an episode. That should be an episode titled "Woman, Woman, 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 Spock."
Yeah, it's here. It's Pike in the middle. You have woman, woman in the front. You have woman, woman. No, woman, 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 woman. 5 women. Spock.
Yep. So, all right.
That's all. Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I'm completely saying, you know what? This. Yeah. Again, the changing canon because some of the stuff from the 60s does not work.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't apply anymore.
I am cool with this because we know that they're going to eventually get it to where Spock and T'Pring strengthen the relationship on the surface, and they're going to move on with getting married one day. And they indicate that the next Pon farr is when they'll do it. Cut to end credits and to Kirk's Enterprise.
So, I mean, if we are trying to kind of fit within established canon, we know it won't be the next Pon farr because Pon farr happens every 7 years. We also know that Spock served with Pike for 10 years, and the Pon farr that happens where T'Pring basically gives him the fucking boot happens during Kirk's command. So we know it's got to be during the second. So probably like 2 or 3-ish years into Spock serving with Kirk. So we know it's not going to be the next one, but it'll be the one
Season 3.
Maybe.
He's going to have a Pon farr in seasons 3 or 4.
Yeah, that I would say, assuming there's going to be a season 3 or 4. But of course, I mean, these guys the guys writing these episodes right now, again, are demonstrating they have real literacy in what it is to be a Star Trek series.
So there's a good chance it'll get canceled by stupid Paramount.
Well, at least it's not Kathleen Kennedy, because we know what happens when she gets her hands on a beloved franchise.
Yeah, we could give credit. As bad as the Kurtzman era has been in pounding the diversity hammer, sometimes for good, sometimes for pounding for the sake of pounding it, at least it's not what Kathleen Kennedy's doing to the Star Wars franchise.
Exactly. So,
amen to that shit.
Yep. That's all the time we've got for this episode of Treknicity. Thank you for joining us as we talk about all things Star Trek. Please be sure to check us out on all of our wonderful socials listed above. Check out the last 9, and also check out the last 9 years of Red Shirt Geeks content.
9 years.
At redshirtgeeks.tv. And for anybody who is keeping track, I know I am, I want to say we're recording this on the 12th of July. We are almost on the actual 9-year anniversary of the Red Shirt Geeks. So there's that. Anyways, I'm Lars.
And I'm the disembodied voice of Patrick.
Remember to go boldly and to rock out, which is Spock out. Oh, did that. Rock out, which is Spock out. How about like that one? All right, and we'll see you next time.